Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Mette Maja, author of Mindful Medicine. Mette, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent. Question number 1. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
I would say that they should really enjoy the process, really, and take their time for it. And be patient. Because sooner or later their book, if it is meant to, it will get through somewhere. So just enjoy the process.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
It is to find a publisher. How to find the right publisher who wants to publish your book. Since there are many books on the market these days, so it's difficult. So to find a publisher and to find the right one which you feel that you correspond with, that you can correspond with easily, and that they understand the message of your book.
Well, when we were talking prior to the show, you mentioned that you actually used Balboa Press. Is that correct?
Yes, I use them for this English book. Yeah, usually I write in Danish, but this English book I use Balboa Press. Yeah.
And how's your experience going through that?
Pardon?
How was your experience with Balboa Press?
In the beginning, I thought they were very kind. They called me and things like this, but then it went a bit troublesome because there are so many people who are hired in Balboa Press. So I had so many different people I talked to when I had some problems. So I couldn't really communicate directly. So that was the problem. But I had a very good reviewer and was very pleased to get my book reviewed, because I have written it in English and my own language is Danish, so I needed really a good reviewer, and I was very pleased by this review. That was very good. It was difficult to be a foreign author and then communicate with a foreign publisher to understand all the contracts and the details in the contracts, and it was difficult. I would choose a smaller company if I should do it another time, where the communication is more direct. I don't know how it works in other companies, but the product looks very fine, and the review was very good.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, because sometimes when it's a larger publisher, there are so many different people that you have to deal with. And with smaller publishers, you don't necessarily have that issue. You might have one person that communicates with you directly, and then they will then communicate with people like the formatters and the editors and the book cover designers. So it can be a challenge with some of the larger companies, just because there could be so many different people involved in that process.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about marketing.
Exactly.
So in regards to marketing, please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well?
Yeah, I have been. I did a video of myself together with the book when it was the day of publishing, and I think that worked fine. And also, I had a reception for my book that made people come, and then I had done a lot of bloggings on the social media, which have made people interested in the book even before it was published, like some appetizers about what was coming to, what was the subject of the book, and to make them curious about the book. I think this is what has worked best. And then I do some talks about my book, and it's also a good way to do some marketing, because people, when they meet me and they hear something about what I'm talking, when they are interested in buying the book. This is the way that I have used. So I cannot say there's one single way that is the best one. It depends on the circumstances and what is possible. And it's also good to use different channels, I think, different ways.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. In regards to the talks, where were you giving these talks at?
I give it in public. I announce them in public in the social media, or sometimes people they know about me and they ask me to come and give a talk, and then I bring my books with me, and this is how it works. So I announce them myself, and I also get some appointment people who knows about me. Yeah.
Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know, what is your favorite book, and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Yeah. The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton has had a great impact on me, because it really made me understand that we are not determined by our genes, like if we are stuck in the same diseases. Now I can explain that we don't need to be stuck in our diseases, so that we think we are determined by by our genes, and that had a great impact when I understood that. So this is why I can mention this book. Of course, I have some others as well, but this was important. It was a good way he explained it.
And for our final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
My favorite quote is, the world doesn't need to be saved. It needs to be loved. And I don't know who has quoted it. I don't know from who I'm quoting it. I have searched for the person. I guess I've seen it somewhere, somewhere, and I just took it. And I like it because I don't think the world needs to be saved. I think we need to take more responsibility, us who are able to it, for our own well-being, and of course for each other, but most of all for ourselves, the humans who are able to it. And there are many people who are, and all what we really need is love, to acknowledge each other, to make each other, give each other a feeling of being recognized and feeling connected to our surroundings. It's just the greatest healer. I'm a doctor, and I just think that love is really the greatest healer. And it's very simple. It makes the body relax, and when the body is relaxed, it is able to heal many conditions by itself with very little support.
I think the Beatles said it best. All you need is love.
Yeah, that would be the best quote. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Mette, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
On my website, which is it's a bit difficult to say. Well, it is mettemovitzen.com. It is my name Mette, and then my family name movitzen.com. I think this would be the easiest way, or perhaps on Facebook you could find me as holistic Dr. Mette Maja Movitzen.
Well, Dr. Mette, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show once again, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.